Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. My beautiful moments. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
The story of Sister Afra al-Shabani, how she became Muslim May 2nd, 1996. I grew up in a Christian family that regularly attended a non-denominational conservative church called the Church of Christ. I went to Bible school, sang in the choir, and spent my entire childhood inside the church environment. When I became a teenager, questions began to rise in my mind. Why am I part of the Church of Christ? Why not Lutheran, Catholic, or Methodist? If every church teaches different beliefs, how do we know which one is the truth? Can all of them be right? Do all paths really lead to God? And if a person is good, does it even matter what they believe? After thinking a lot, I concluded that there must be one ultimate truth, so I decided to stay in the Church of Christ because at that time I believed it followed the Bible the closest. I didn't yet know that the Bible has many different interpretations. I spent my first year at Michigan Christian College, then transferred to Western Michigan University because I applied late. I ended up in the international dorm. It was the first time in my life that I was surrounded by people from different cultures, languages, and countries. For someone who grew up in a white middle-class Christian community, this diversity made me nervous. My roommate became very active socially and made lots of friends. Among the residents were many Arab guys, friendly, funny, and enjoyable to be around. My roommate even started dating one of them eventually. I also became part of their group. I knew they were Muslims, but most of them were not really practicing, so religion never became a topic. A year passed, and then one summer day my roommate called me and said I became Muslim. I was shocked. She did not explain much. She only said Islam made logical sense to her. After many discussions with her boyfriend's brother, I was so disturbed that I wrote her a long letter begging her to give Christianity another chance. During that same summer, the Arab boy I was seeing got transferred to California with the U.S. Army. We planned to get married and start our life there in California. Life was normal for some time. I worked and he served in the Army's gang unit. Then everything changed. He was deployed to Iraq. Even before he left, our relationship was getting shaky, but when he came back after 9 months, he was not the same. He was angry, stressed, emotionally unstable, and slowly he became abusive. I cried almost every day. The atmosphere at home became painful and suffocating. I kept hoping things would get better, but they didn't. In that emotional darkness, I decided to return to religion. I began reading the Bible again, watching sermons and listening to Christian preachers, but the more I read, the more questions troubled me. Jesus is God, but also God's Son, but also God's servant, and yet God is one. The Trinity confused me deeply. For the first time in my life, I seriously questioned it. One night, I suddenly remembered my old roommate who had become Muslim. I wondered why she chose Islam, what she found there. Out of curiosity, I searched Islam on YouTube. Muslim speakers appeared in the results, and for the first time I heard Islam explain clearly. God is one. God has no partners, no confusion, no contradictions. I kept watching more and more. I downloaded an English translation of the Quran. The first night I opened it, my heart trembled. The Quran spoke directly and clearly. There were no strange concepts, no contradictions, no confusing philosophies. Every verse felt like it was answering the exact questions in my heart. Night after night I secretly read the Quran, and night after night I cried. Finally I made a sincere prayer. God, if this is the truth, guide me. During this time my marriage completely fell apart. He became more abusive and controlling. I could no longer bear it. I left him and returned to my family. For the first time in my life I was truly alone. I felt like everything had collapsed, but I was not actually alone. I had the Quran. It gave me peace, it gave me strength, it healed the pain inside me, and it showed me a new path.
Journey toward Islam began when I returned to my family home. At that time I was emotionally broken from inside. Every night I would sit alone quietly and read the Quran, and the more I read it, the more my heart felt pulled toward Islam. It felt as if the Quran was speaking directly to my wounded heart. Allah is with you. Allah knows what your heart hides. After hardship comes ease. These words were healing something deep inside me. For the first time in my life I felt a peace that I had never felt before. I watched videos, listened to scholars, and everything in Islam made perfect sense to me. No confusion, no contradictions, just pure truth. But still I did not want to leave Christianity without researching it deeply, so I decided to read the Bible one last time with full honesty. I focused on the teachings of Jesus, and the more I read, the more clear everything became to me. Jesus always referred to God as my God. He never called himself God. The concept of Trinity was not in his actual teachings. The Bible had many versions and many contradictions. With every page my doubts grew stronger, and the truth became clearer. Christianity felt confusing, while Islam felt crystal clear. God is one. At night I kept thinking, and my heart kept whispering, you already know what the truth is. One night tears came to my eyes, and I picked up my phone. I searched, how do you become a Muslim? The first answer said, say the Shahada. But I told myself, no, first I will pray to Allah. if Islam is truly the truth, then Allah will give my heart certainty. That night I prayed sincerely for the first time ever in my life, and the next morning something strange happened. When I opened YouTube, a video appeared automatically which I had never searched for. Why Islam is the true religion. There was one line in that video that completely broke me into tears. When you call upon Allah sincerely, Allah answers you. I felt like this message was sent directly for me. That moment something changed inside me, and I felt certainty rising in my heart that Allah was guiding me step by step. For an entire week I researched, compared the Bible and the Quran, and thought deeply about everything. And finally I reached a conclusion. If I do not accept this truth, then I will be lying to myself. One night I lit a candle. My room was silent, and my heart was beating fast. Then I recited the Shahada, Ashhadu alla ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. As soon as I finished the words, I felt like a huge weight lifted off my chest. It felt like years of pain washed away from my soul. I cried, but for the first time, they were tears of happiness. In that moment, I had become a Muslim. The next day I learned how to pray my first salah. I followed each step slowly and carefully, and when I went into sujud for the very first time, I broke down completely. Sujud felt like the most beautiful act in this world. It is the moment when a person is closest to their Creator. In that sujud I cried deeply and felt a peace that I had never felt in my entire life. Reading the Quran every night became my routine. Every verse felt like it was speaking directly to my heart, guiding me step by step. I often asked myself, where was this truth all my life? Then came the hardest part, telling my family. I grew up in a Christian American family, so when I told my mom, her reaction was pure shock. Why did you become Muslim? What happened to you? She misunderstood me and thought I was confused or depressed or influenced by someone. But I calmly said, Mom, I accepted Islam because it is the truth. It was difficult for her to understand. I did not get support, but Allah gave me strength and patience. I remember the day I tried hijab for the first time. I stood in front of the mirror, wore it, and suddenly my heart said, this is you. From that day, I started wearing hijab. Yes, people stared, and sometimes it felt awkward, but the peace in my heart was so strong that nothing bothered me anymore. Living an Islamic life slowly healed me from inside. My depression faded, my loneliness disappeared, and my soul found its purpose. I felt like I had truly come out of darkness into light. In every prayer I thanked Allah, saying, Ya Allah, you saved me today. I want to tell anyone searching for truth to look with an open heart and an open mind. Do not judge based on old assumptions or media noise. Search sincerely and honestly, because when someone sincerely calls upon Allah, Allah always answers. O Allah, keep everyone firm upon your guidance, and bless every step of their journey with your mercy.